Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the fancy financial jargon to see what companies are really up to. Today, we're diving into a company that is making some interesting moves. And let's just say, it involves a bit of a dance between a SPAC and a quantum computing future. Buckle up. Because we're about to decode this, if you're looking for a company that's navigating a business combination and a private investment at the same time, you've come to the right place. We'll break down what this means for the stakeholders and the potential future of this venture. And hey, if you like your corporate insights delivered straight, without the fluff, hit that subscribe button. We also have a fantastic Discord community where we discuss these filings and more, so link is in the description below. So, what we're looking at here is a report from DMY Squared Technology Group Incorporated. Think of them as a special purpose acquisition company, or a SPAC. They essentially exist to merge with another company. In this case, they're in the middle of a big merger, a business combination, they call it, with a company called Horizon Quantum Computing Private Limited. And before this big merger fully closes, they've brought in some extra cash through something called a PIPE financing. This filing is mostly about announcing this PIPE deal, which is basically a private investment in public equity. It's a way for companies to raise money from specific investors, often before a big event like a merger. In this instance, DMY Squared, along with Horizon and another entity called Rose Holdco Private Limited, have entered into what are called subscription agreements. These are the contracts for this private investment. The deal is for about $110 million. This money is coming from institutional and accredited investors, and some strategic players too. They're buying shares of Rose Holdco, which is getting ready to be the vehicle for this merger. The price they're paying is tied to how much DMY Squared's public shareholders can get back in their shares if the merger doesn't happen. It's a bit of a complex dance to make sure everyone's on the same page with the valuation. Now, what's really interesting is who some of these investors are. One of the key subscribers is a company called IonQ Incorporated, and for this particular investment, they've also inked a side letter agreement. This side letter lays out some specific understandings between IonQ and the combined entity. For instance, IonQ gets to suggest a director for the board of the new company. This director needs to be independent, not directly affiliated with IonQ, and approved by the companies involved. This gives IonQ a seat at the table, which is pretty significant, especially considering that IonQ is a major player in the quantum computing space. In fact, as long as IonQ holds a decent chunk of the company's voting stock, they can keep nominating a director. This makes sense because the whole point of this merger seems to be combining DMY Squared's public market access with Horizon's quantum computing technology, and IonQ being a leader in quantum computing itself likely sees strategic value in this partnership. And here is a really crucial part of that side letter. IonQ's investment is conditional on the companies actually agreeing to buy quantum computing hardware from IonQ. This is a clear sign that this isn't just a financial investment from IonQ. It is a strategic play to ensure they have a customer in this new, potentially very large quantum computing ecosystem being built. This could mean big business for IonQ. This whole deal, the PIPE financing and the business combination, is expected to wrap up around the same time. There are a bunch of conditions that need to be met though. For example, the new company's shares have to be approved for listing on a major stock exchange, like the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. This is a big hurdle, as getting listed on these exchanges is a stamp of approval and allows for easier trading by a wider range of investors. They also need to make sure that at least 10 million shares are issued and outstanding by the time everything is done. Remember, this is all about setting up the public face of this new quantum venture. Now, the company's also put out a press release about this PIPE agreement, which is a common practice to let the public know about important company news. This filing is essentially confirming that announcement. It's important to note that this information is being furnished, not filed, which has some legal implications about how it's viewed by regulators. They've also included a section about finding more information on the business combination. This is where they point out that a registration statement on Form F.4 will be filed. This document is crucial because it contains detailed information about the merger, and it will include a proxy statement for DMY Squared shareholders to vote on the deal. Think of it as the official prospectus for this merger. They're essentially telling investors to keep an eye out for these filings because they contain all the nitty-gritty details. It is a standard disclosure to make sure people have access to the information they need to understand the transaction. Therese also a mention of an extension proxy statement. This suggests that DMY Squared might have had to extend the deadline to complete its business combination. SPACs often have a time limit to find and merge with a company, and if they don't, they can face difficulties. So it looks like they needed a bit more time. This section is all about who might be considered participants in getting shareholder approval for these deals. It's a legal formality to disclose who is involved in advocating for or against the proposals, especially in proxy solicitations. They point to previous filings like the DMY annual report on Form 10, K for more details on their directors and officers, and of course no corporate filing is complete without a cautionary note regarding forward-looking statements. This is a disclaimer. It basically says that any statements about the future, like expectations, estimates, and projections, are just that, predictions. Actual results could be very different due to risks and uncertainties. They're covering themselves legally, basically saying, we hope for the best, but things might not turn out as we predict. They list a whole bunch of potential risks, things like deals falling apart, legal troubles, not getting shareholder approval, changes in laws, or even just the normal competitive pressures in the business world. It's a comprehensive list designed to make sure investors are aware of all the potential pitfalls. One of the key things they're looking at is whether Horizon can actually scale up its quantum computing business. This is a high-tech field with massive potential, but also huge challenges in development and commercialization. Will Horizon's quantum processor deliver the benefits they expect, or will it run into technical hurdles? That's a major question mark. And then there is the challenge of actually getting the benefits they expect from the merger. This involves more than just combining companies. It means integrating them, managing growth, and keeping their talented people. Competition in the tech world is fierce, and quantum computing is no exception. They even highlight the side letter with IonQ as something to watch. Will the commercial agreement to buy quantum hardware actually materialize and be beneficial for both sides? This suggests the partnership with IonQ is a key piece of the puzzle, not just a financial investment. Finally, we get to the exhibits. These are the actual documents that are being referenced, like the form of the PIPE subscription agreement and that crucial side letter with IonQ. There is also the press release and the cover page from the filing itself. And then we have the signatures. Harry L. Yu, the Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Chairman of DMY Squared Technology Group, Inc., has signed off on this report, confirming its accuracy to the best of his knowledge. Now, let's pull this all together. What's the story here? We have a spark. DMY Squared, that's trying to merge with a quantum computing company, Horizon, and they've secured a significant private investment, a PIPE deal, for about $110 million. A key investor in this PIPE is IonQ, another quantum computing heavyweight, which is strategically tying its investment to future hardware purchases. This suggests a deep level of interconnectedness and a belief in the synergistic potential. The biggest looming factor here is execution. Can Horizon actually deliver on the promise of quantum computing at a commercial scale? The PIPE financing and the potential listing on a major exchange are positive steps, showing confidence from investors and providing capital. However, the risks outlined in the cautionary statements are very real. Bringing a revolutionary technology like quantum computing to market is incredibly complex, and competition, both from other quantum companies and from traditional computing methods, will be intense. The strategic relationship with IonQ, while promising for future sales, also ties the success of this venture to another player in what is still a nascent market. It's a calculated bet if Horizon's technology proves superior and scalable. And if they can leverage their relationship with IonQ effectively, the upside could be enormous. But if they falter on the technology or market adoption, the investment could be in jeopardy. From a Warren Buffett style perspective, we're looking at a company with immense potential, but also immense risk. The management seems to be making smart strategic moves, securing funding and solidifying key partnerships. The critical questions revolve around the technological viability and the long-term market demand for Horizon's specific quantum solutions. It is a high-stakes gamble on the future of computing. So, what's my take? This is a bold move into a cutting edge field. The PIPE financing and the IonQ side letter show strategic thinking and a clear path for potential revenue. The biggest weakness is the inherent uncertainty of quantum computing's path to widespread adoption. It is a company to watch for sure, but with a healthy dose of caution. Alright? That is our decode of DMY Squared Technology Group's latest filing. What is your take on this quantum computing venture and the strategic moves being made? Do you think this merger will be a game changer? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out. And of course, subscribe for more unfiltered corporate insights. Don't forget to join the Discord community linked in the description for even more discussions and analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decode Off.